Thanks for letting us in.
Absolutely. I hope you guys have a good time here.
Yeah, we always do.
Yeah, it always seems like a good time. And Randy is stuck. You know, the Tonto Creek is full this morning as we are getting some beautiful, much-needed rain right now.
Yes. We are.
Praise God.
Absolutely. I did notice, got some new movies.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Two new ones today.
Yeah, what are those?
Old. That's the one we want to focus on today. It's by M. Night Shyamalan.
He said it. No. I was actually looking it up this morning because it's a hard name to pronounce. It's Indian. He is Indian.
Oh, wow.
And actually,
India with a dot, not with a feather.
Sounds a little hard to pronounce.
but he is. He has actually a full Indian name, but the M. Night is the Anglo version that he's picked to go with his last name. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's a story about the beach. And
But also more than that.
so a family goes to the beach, and lo and behold, they find that their aging process is accelerating. And I haven't seen the movie, of course, because it hasn't come out yet for another 3 hours. But
And we will be there.
it's apparently their entire life is being compressed into an afternoon.
Oh, wow.
So hence the title Old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, if you think about it, people say when there's some kind of thing that's happening to you, like a car crash or somebody's falling, and everything goes into slow-mo, and then there's that phrase, and my whole life flashed before me, in a moment. And it seems like that, I haven't seen it yet, did a little reading about it this morning. It seems like that could be relevant to this, this thing. I mean, just think if you were all of a sudden in a situation where your whole life was compressed into, what is it, Andy, one day or
One afternoon.
Yeah. How would you deal with that? How would you react? What would you do differently?
Wow, so many questions that could go along with that. Really, I don't know.
It's deep.
Yeah, and plus people get all wrinkly and everything. It's just awful.
Yeah, that part's really awful. So.
And Tasha's watching with us this morning. Good morning. Also, Timothy Greer says, "Oh my God, Andy was 5 years old when he woke up this morning." Yeah, look at
Oh, Greer, I tell you, Star Valley is better for your presence.
5 years old. Huh?
He's my Lord and Master, Tim Greer. I'll tell you, he rocks.
Well, that movie Old is rated PG-13, and it is coming out in 3 hours, as Andy said.
Yes, and we shall be there. Yes, usually in the front row, right, Andy? Because we're good at that.
Yeah, we are good at that.
Right in the front row, huh?
We like it. I like to be right in the middle.
Not too close for you?
Not the front row of the front section, but the front row of the upper section. And I like to be where the screen is evenly distributed throughout my peripheral vision so that I can
Ooh, boy,
really...
a lot of multi-syllable words there. Good for you.
She's using big ones today.
Well, retired English teacher. Can't help myself.
What's the other one coming out? We had Old. What's the next one today?
Checking.
Checking.
That's not it, though.
Okay.
That's what he's doing.
But it's a.
I was going to say checking's not on my list yet.
It's a G.I. Joe movie.
Ooh.
So that's kind of the downside. The upside of it, though, is that it's starring Henry Golding.
Yes, he's good.
Yeah, Henry Golding's one of our new favorite actors. He played the lead in Crazy Rich Asians
Yes.
a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Just a fabulous movie.
And wasn't he in the other one with Blake Lively?
Yes.
Yes.
That was on TV just the other night. I forgot the name
It
of it
was
already.
really like a murder mystery. He's really a star.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good actor and he's also a star.
Yeah, he's He's got the presence.
He's got it.
It.
Yes, if you
Okay.
remember in Bowfinger, that was one of the
well, let's talk about Bowfinger.
recurring phrases. Well, these girls. Do I have it? Yes, you definitely have it. Which means the camera loves you, and no matter what you do on camera, people want to watch.
And you got it.
You got it.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And was that Marilyn that they called the It Girl?
No, it was Clara Bow, I believe.
Oh, go way back.
Well, Marilyn, yeah. I mean, Marilyn was another definitely it girl. Elizabeth Taylor was an it girl.
Yeah.
Although they didn't call her that, but she had it. I mean, when she was on screen, there she was. So she just was, you couldn't take your eyes off of her. And some people have, what I read about Marilyn one time was that she was in New York City, and she...
my favorite Marilyn story. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you know what I'm saying. She was walking down the street with a friend, and nobody noticed her. And then all of a sudden, she did something internal and switched on Marilyn Monroe. I mean, switched on. And all of a sudden, people were, oh my gosh, it's Marilyn Monroe. It's, crowding around her because she switched on that light that she knew how to do and that people knew it was her. And she said, oh, I just felt like being Marilyn for a while.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Snake Eyes is the Henry Golding movie.
Snake Eyes, rated
Yeah.
PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes is one of the characters in the G.I. Joe universe. So
yeah.
they've taken one of the characters out and then built a movie around him, and it turns out that they got Henry Golding to do it. So
And I think the movie with Blake Lively was A Simple Favor, or
yes,
and
it's a murder mystery. And
it
very
is
complex.
so good.
Yeah, very
And
complicated.
Blake
murder.
Lively is amazing. And who's that other chick who really is? She's great.
Anna Kendricks.
Anna Kendricks. Yeah.
Usually
yes,
she
is.
usually she does the comic stuff, but this
Well,
is
she manages to pull some of that into that movie, but it's very it's a very complex, very intelligent movie, and Henry Golding is fabulous.
yeah, and one of the good movies.
Yeah,
We watch a lot of movies.
a plethora.
Ooh, there you go.
Her words this morning.
Remember, that's from Three Amigos. A plethora. Do you know what a plethora is? Sorry. Squirrel.
in the United States, every year, movie people pump out about 3,000 feature-length movies.
And that's just the U.S.
Yeah, that's just the U.S. It's
You were
probably,
talking about there's a bunch of foreign films
Yeah,
as
there's-
well.
yeah, there's probably
Yeah.
at least that many pumped out in India every year. And of course, I'm not conversant with contemporary Indian theater, but I can say in the United States, of that 3,000 movies, there are probably a dozen
True.
or so that that the average person would have heard of,
Right.
would recognize the name of.
Right.
Like Fast and Furious 9, for instance.
Right,
People
that's
know that.
definitely popular.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
really.
The rest of them are deservedly obscure. But, they're just not very good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, then there's also the Australian Film Board, the Polish Film Board, the Hungarian Film Board, and they put out some darn good movies. I watch a lot of foreign flicks. I love foreign flicks. I love subtitles. So I just really...
You love the subtitles?
I do. I'm a fast reader. I want to hear the actual voices of the actors, the actual sound that was constructed in, the movie the way it was supposed to be made.
we can talk about streaming today because Greg's not here.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And I have a couple of movies that I've watched lately that are streaming that are. I think I told you about one.
Genius.
Genius. We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Wow, watching a movie with subtitles, I can't do it because I don't want to miss the movie itself, and I feel like I'm reading the whole
And
time.
I'm a speed reader, so I mean not always, but I can. It's almost like I can take in the whole amount in a split second.
Wow.
So my husband and I are really with
Dubbing.
Right, and
No dubbing.
and the sound of the actor's voice is not right because it's somebody else's voice other than the actor, the way it was supposed to be. So yeah.
Well, I recently saw. I like to watch shorts. The 2-minute, 3-minute, 10-minute, 12-minute movies. And I saw one recently. It's my first movie I ever saw that was made in Azerbaijan.
Oh.
And I mean,
Say what?
Azerbaijan.
Where the fluff is that?
Okay, you know where Iran is?
I do.
Go off the top left corner of Iran.
Am I allowed to do that, or will I get assassinated?
No, it's all right.
Okay,
You know,
all right.
yeah.
Don't get her assassinated this morning.
I'll wear my burqa.
Anyway, that's where it is.
Oh, okay.
It's
Really?
Yeah, it's where the oil is.
Oh, okay.
Baku.
Yeah, Baku.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember that
it was really cool.
Yeah,
It's
it was
like
good.
a 12-minute movie, and
Wow.
it was made by people in their 20s,
Mhm.
and it involved a guy at a bus stop, and then a girl came by. So it was a guy and a girl at a bus stop for 12 minutes. I mean, it was just a wonderful, very short, neat, cool movie, but it was in subtitles.
Where do you find these?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that. Where are these?
Amazon Prime.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Amazon Prime is a wealth.
But yeah, but I
yeah.
watched dozens and dozens of them.
Right, right.
And they're, some of them are really very, very clever, very well done, and it's compact. And some of them are, pretty average and not very interesting. But a lot of them are surprising. And I think that that's and you can tell me more about this. In film school, students have to make a like for their senior thesis or something, have to make a movie.
Right.
And I think some of these start out like that, but
We had to make them every year and multiple ones. I mean, we.
Oh, really?
Yeah. To find the actors, to write the script, to do the sound. I mean, I'm talking the '60s. We're talking the Stone Age of filmdom. It was crazy. I have this strange degree from Northwestern in radio, TV, and film, and all of it was very primitive. But the film shorts that people made were really interesting, and then we studied a lot of film shorts in order to kind of get the feel of that pacing, because you got 12 minutes, or 3 minutes. Yeah.
Not much time to hurry and do a movie.
yeah, I saw one the other day. Was made in France, and again, it's with subtitles, not dubbing. Tina and I don't like dubbing
We don't like dubbing.
because you see the guy's mouth move, and
It's
it
not the right.
doesn't
It's
match
not
up.
action.
No, it's
My
not
daughter
sync.
won't let us watch movies if it does that.
Yeah.
Good.
Because she can't follow along and she likes to watch the mouth while
Right.
the person talks.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it just makes it hard to follow along.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
famously,
So they call that dubbing.
famously that we got that in kung fu movies, and people like
Oh, God.
to make fun of them.
And then one of my husband's favorites, there's something called bad lip reading.
Oh.
If you go on YouTube and you look up bad lip reading, it's hysterical because there are all these famous people, politicians, and they're speaking, and somebody has managed
I saw those the other
to
day.
create some wonderful, silly, snarky, very un-PC things to put into their mouths, which actually match up with the mouths. Because
Yeah, I don't
they've
know how they
actually,
do that.
Oh man, so bad,
Oh, wow.
bad lip reading. If you want a snarky experience, go to YouTube, look up bad lip reading. It's really good.
Yeah, I saw one the other night with
Yeah.
Putin singing.
Oh yes,
In
yes.
English.
Yeah, in English, of course, right? Yeah, and it matched. The excuse me, the lips actually match.
So the old kung fu stuff will
Oh,
be,
that was great.
that'll be a thing of the past.
Yeah. Well, and also if you think about The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, it was made by Sergio Leone back in the 60s? Yeah, because I was still in film school. I did my senior thesis on that movie.
And that was some weird stuff in there.
Because
technically.
he dubbed some of it, but he had Clint Eastwood, he had Eli Wallach, he had Angel Eyes, Lee Van Cleef.
Cleef.
And those guys spoke English. They were the primary 3 stars of the movie. But there were all these lesser Italian actors
Speaking Italian.
and then he dubbed English into their mouths. Somehow I managed to. It doesn't bother me. I don't know. I just love that movie. So yeah.
But it is funny because you've got Lee Van Cleef squinting and saying, "I'm gonna shoot your noggin off" or something.
Right.
And then there's the Italian guy speaking in Italian, but the soundtrack is in English.
Right.
So you can't shoot me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
when they call him, they just got these Italians who recognize him as the bad guy, and his nickname is Angel Eyes. I don't even know why.
Because if you see him pretty soon, you're going to see an angel.
Oh, that would be it, yes. And one of the highlights of my life was I met Lee Van Cleef in Oxnard, in California in the 80s. Yeah. And he was eating lunch at a restaurant. I was there and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Lee Van Cleef. I went over, I said.
Is that at the Split Pea place?
I don't know where it was. It was some crazy place. But I said, I'm so excited to meet you. I did my senior thesis on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He was very polite. But he kind of looked bewildered that anybody would do that. Right?
Probably his
Cool
first.
guy though. Cool. And he was much older then. So, yeah. Because, I mean, that movie was made in the 60s. This was in the 80s. And so he was getting on. Yeah. But anyway, all the Sergio Leone movies, he made many, but those 3, the Fistful of Dollars, Few Dollars More, Good, Bad, the Ugly, they were all like that. They were semi-dubbed, and with Clint, that's what made Clint a big star.
Yeah, and how would you manage as a director? Because you've got everybody dressed up like cowboys, and you've got half your cast is speaking one language, and the other half the cast is speaking the other language, and that must throw a little monkey wrench into the directorial process. I would think.
But
I would think so
that old
too.
boy could handle it. He was such a master of of visuals and really of the stories. He did amazing stuff. And what was the other one that he did? Was it Once Upon a Time in the West?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Another epic spaghetti western. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, you need to see these things. If you're gonna sub for Randy, we need to get you up to speed.
Yeah, that's what I told Randy. I hope I can keep up.
Oh yeah, come to the movies.
Yeah, come to the movies.
Oh, I love the movies.
Yeah.
We do go a lot.
Yeah. So
and Good, Bad, and the Ugly. That was what's her name's dad, right?
who?
In the Good, Bad, and the I'm not Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Once Upon a Time in the West.
What's her name?
The one we don't like.
But there are so many of those.
Never mind. It'll come to me.
It'll come to us.
It'll come to me about 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
I'll get
exactly.
called.
We're just waiting.
They'll call you at 3.
Yeah. So just because I don't want to forget, Andy and I were talking about some of the streaming movies that are available, and I recommended, it was recommended to me by a dear friend, to see the movie Genius. It is with Colin Firth, Jude Law, Nicole Kidman, and Laura Linney are all in it. And it is a biopic, a true story, dramatized, of the relationship between the writer Thomas Wolfe, who lived in the 20s, and his editor Maxwell Perkins, who was a very famous editor, but was a very self-effacing man. He was the editor for F. Scott Fitzgerald, for Faulkner, and for Hemingway. And there's some amazing things in that movie, especially as an English teacher, and I've done editing, a lot of editing. And he says, there's one line he says, Maxwell Perkins says, he says, no, you can't give me credit. The editor is supposed to be invisible. The author is the author, and he's the guy, and it's all your lines. And anything that an editor does should be so subtle and so invisible. I mean, but he had to cut. Thomas Wolfe was such a prolific writer. He comes in with a stack of of proofs. It's like this. I mean, 5,000 pages.
Oh my word.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
oh yeah. And his books are still huge. He wrote Look Homeward, Angel and Time in the River, and then he wrote some other stuff, but those were the two main ones. And I don't want to be a spoiler, what happened to him, but I read his stuff in college and his
Who won?
prose.
Look Homeward, Angel. Who won?
I'm sorry?
Who won?
Who won what?
Who won the movie?
Huh?
I think he's trying to trick you right now.
Yeah, he's always doing that, right? It's way too early. He's
Well,
drinking
like-
coffee. I'm drinking water.
Like in Fast and Furious 9.
Oh, who won?
Vin Diesel
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel won the movie.
Well, I think that we readers won. Yeah. Because, and what I do recommend, even though it's in English, I would recommend watching this with subtitles because there is the reading of much of Thomas Wolfe's prose in the movie. So you hear it, but you can also see it written. And, for really good books, a lot of time, reading them out loud to people who are reading the words on the page is a wonderful thing. I used to do that in my English classes. His prose, I was in tears multiple times during this movie, not just because
Sissy.
yeah, well, I'm a puddle, right? But it's man, you got to see this movie. It's just really perfect, and it really gives you an appreciation of that time in history. During the 20s, there was only radio. There was no TV. There was obviously no internet. People read books, and they relished books, and they bought books, and books were a big business, and the publishing companies were a huge business. And man, I just, that's the kind of thing I wish would be a little bit more, I don't know, people tell me all the time, they're parents, and they say, yeah, my kid read until he was, 19 or 20, and then
Until they started smoking pot.
yeah, or
And then it was TV.
no, but then the internet,
The internet is really what got it. Just everyone quit picking up a book. It was easier just to maybe go to the internet and listen to the book.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
So just see that movie. It's really worthwhile.
I listened to one of your McDonald books while I was cleaning my my den.
John Dee. Yeah. John Dee is his prose.
They made movies.
Some of them. I don't think any of them are really famous, except the one with Robert Mitchum and Gregory Peck. Can't remember it, but
Can't either.
well, what the heck good are you? and remade with Robert De Niro. And, yes,
Cape Fear.
Cape Fear, yes. That was a John Dee.
I didn't know that was John Dee.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But boy, talk about scintillating prose.
Oh.
Boy, is this guy good.
Heavenly. Yeah, one of my favorite writer of all time. John D. MacDonald. Buy his books. He's dead now, but he lives on in his prose.
Yep.
Yeah.
And both of those movies, both the Cape Fear movies, were just tremendous.
Yeah.
And scary as all get out.
Well, there's nobody I think really well and as scary. I mean, John Dee really knew human nature, and when he creates his villains, they are so clever and so evil and so they're smart. I mean, to vanquish them is hard, So.
And a lot of his villains are insectoid.
Yes, they are.
They have all of the emotional involvement in their murders, as say an ant would be getting an aphid.
Right.
I mean, just nothing at all. They're just things. They're not.
And it's not that there's gore and icky stuff. It's the side of human nature that one hopes one never has to see up close and personal.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're good bad guys, super good bad guys.
Well written bad guys.
Yeah, and he's got great names for some of them. One of them that I'm thinking of, he is a villain. I forget which book it's in, named Moon Waxwell.
Ooh.
Yeah, just a great.
Boy, that would seem like to me to be an aristocratic Southerner.
Yeah, and he wrote, and a lot of his stuff takes place in Florida. Because after the war, he came back. He's a very interesting guy. He had a business degree, an MBA from Harvard, and his father worked for Savage Arms, firearms company, all his life. So he knows business, economics, and also knows firearms. So, yeah.
And people.
And human nature.
Oh,
Oh
boy.
my gosh. He's as good as Shakespeare.
Oh, well, coming from you, that is high praise.
There it is.
indeed.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Shakespeare movie?
Shakespeare movie? Ooh. Maybe Looking for Richard with Al Pacino. It's a movie that's made about Richard III, and it's made of Richard III, where they construct the play, and you see the backstory with them working on it and the script, and it has Winona Ryder. It's Al Pacino. I think it was his movie that he actually made it. And Alec Baldwin is in it. A couple of other people. It's amazing. That would be, I think, my favorite. Yeah. But then Romeo and Juliet by Franco Zeffirelli, Reduce Me to a Puddle.
Again?
I'm a perpetual puddle.
You guys, we are going to head into the KRIM weather, and if you're just tuning in, you're missing out a lot. We are here with the Hometown Movie Guys, and you guys can still follow along and listen with us because we are live on the KRIM FM Facebook page.
Yeah.
So here's the weather, and come and follow along with us.
With this morning's
What's your
KRIM weather forecast for Payson.
How much you know about nothing?
Oh,
Denzel.
That is, I just bought that actually at the
Did you?
thrift store. Yeah, I gotta watch that again. Yeah, that's really good.
Okay, now we're on
Now we're on,
the interweb.
we are. Now
Okay.
we're streaming.
Okay.
We've been streaming, but
So we can take off all the restraints and really get on it and bear down.
let's do it.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan, Shakabuku.
Yep.
They were ready for this moment.
Yeah, we are.
He's got so many notes. You get an A, okay?
You do
Yay!
Yay!
An easy A?
Wait, who's in that? Dennis Quaid?
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. Oh, yeah.
Before she got old and hagged out.
Oh, you are so mean.
Yeah, and I like to say Arizona's own Emma
Yes,
Stone.
indeed she
And
is.
I like to brag about when people do good from Arizona.
Yeah.
And she is, she's still okay. But boy, when she was in
so
her
awful.
when she was in her early 20s, she was just spectacular. And she does a version of Knock on Wood that she's like a cheerleader and does a dance routine to Knock on Wood in that movie that is very entertaining, I would say. So, I like Emma Stone.
No, I do too.
Yeah.
So anyway, but
Anyway.
so far she hasn't been in any M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamalan. Are we gonna stick with that Shyamalan?
Yeah, we should, because
Okay.
it is phonetic.
Yep. So he's made a bunch of movies, and a lot of them almost all of them actually are weirdies. I mean, decidedly. Well, like this one.
Yeah.
People go to the beach and they end up
Yeah.
aging into their dotage in a matter of hours. That's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Dottage, man, you're getting the words in too.
Okay, but
You guys are both getting them in
Nin-
today.
1999 made his third movie, and this is the one where he really made his bones. Bruce Willis starred in it,
Right.
and Haley Joel
Osment?
Osment,
Yeah.
with a T on the end. Osment.
Yes, Osment.
That's not.
And the wonderful, come on.
That's all I got.
No.
Robin Penn Wright, or Robin Wright Penn.
Robin Wright Penn, but.
She doesn't go by that anymore.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, well, she's moved on. But the Australian actress,
Like Lively?
No.
No, somebody
All
else.
these names, you guys are so good with
Go look
them.
it up. But she.
We're the movie guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the movie guys. Okay.
Anyway,
hold
the
on.
movie is called The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, Cass.
Ooh.
His first movie was Praying with Anger.
Toni Collette.
Oh, Toni Collette.
Toni Collette is in The Sixth Sense, and absolutely fabulous.
Okay, his first movie, M. Night's first movie, was called Praying with Anger.
Yes.
And he wrote it, directed it, produced it, which means he gathered up the money to make it,
Yeah.
and starred in it.
Mm-hmm.
And oddly enough, it's about a guy in America who goes to India because he was born in India, and he goes back to India to
Right.
see what's going on in India.
Right.
So, which is exactly.
So it's slightly autobiographical.
Yes,
What do you
I think,
think?
yeah. I couldn't get any numbers on that, but
Now, have you seen that?
no, never even heard of it until last
Well,
night.
we need to plumb the depths of obscurity and.
That's a good idea.
See if we
I'm
can-
going to
yeah.
circle that.
Circle that. We need to have maybe a movie night, or
I will.
we need to
I'll-
find that thing.
I'll watch that. I bet it's
Yeah.
on. I bet it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And then he made a comedy, and we don't think of him as being a comedic writer or director, called Wide Awake.
Right.
That was his second movie, and this was a more of a Hollywood production. Complete bomb. People didn't care for it whatsoever. Made a startling $282,000 at the box office
Wow.
worldwide.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Oh
Not
yeah.
good at all.
No.
Not good at all.
And then right away the next year and Hollywood is so weird. You think about this. You imagine the movie producers are sitting around in their office smoking their big cigars and surrounded by
Or other stuff.
their starlets, these 18-year-old starlets. And say, oh, Ernie, what are you going to do? What are we going to do? I don't know. This kid, this M. Night, blah, 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 whatever he is, that guy? Look, he just made this movie, a comedy movie. It was full of comedy stars in there. The sucker was a bomb. But why don't we just give him $60 million and let him go make a movie for us? What do you think, Ernie? Well, yeah, that sounds good to me.
Who's going to star in it?
Yeah, well, we don't know. Somebody. What's it about? There's some dead kid. I don't know. Well, that sounds good to me.
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
Sounds like Hollywood.
Yes, exactly. That sounds like a movie. But I mean, I don't know how to figure this stuff. I mean, honestly, it doesn't, and it comes up all the time. There's somebody here that we've seen recently had never made a successful full-length movie. Had made a couple of minor movies. They gave him a $200 million budget.
Who was that?
I don't remember. One of the movies that we've seen recently.
okay.
One of the blockbusters.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it at all. It's one part of the movie business that I don't understand. But to their credit, Bob and Ernie did trust M. Night to make The Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Which was a well-nigh perfect movie.
Oh,
Because the
Yeah.
construction is so exquisite that you actually have to watch it twice. The first time you watch it and you're blown away by the ending. The second time or more that you watch it, you watch all the signs throughout the movie that would indicate what's going to
where
happen.
it's gonna
But
go.
you don't see
Here
them.
it comes,
You
here
don't-
it comes,
you
here
don't
it comes,
see
here
them.
it comes.
You don't see them because that's not what you're looking for the first
No.
time.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, it's an exquisite movie.
Yep.
Really,
I mean, it
really.
really is. And when you get the reveal, oh my goodness. It's
And
just-
that was one of those. It's like, don't tell people what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
had to be sworn to secrecy
Uh-huh.
to.
They need to see it for themselves.
Yeah.
And that was M. Night's
Breakout.
his breakout. Yeah.
Right.
And it is, in terms of box office, it is unrivaled among all his other many movies.
Of course. Yeah.
$673 million at the box office worldwide. That is a ton of money.
A
And
lot more than the last movie you talked about.
yeah.
Really.
Yep. So I mean, he can do it, and Milo is a good movie. And of course, they made
Great movie.
oodles more on DVD
Yep.
and oodles more
Right.
on TV because it is such a good movie. When you make a good movie,
Right.
It will generate revenue indefinitely.
Well, people want to see it almost perpetually. People who haven't seen it, and there's probably fewer and fewer of those.
Well, they keep making new people. I don't know if you noticed that.
No!
You wouldn't say.
But you know, people who have seen it, like us, I would watch that again and again
Oh, yeah.
because every time I watch it, I see new things in it. Little tiny details, little tiny nuances.
Yes, that you always miss
yeah.
the first time.
The other thing that I love about it, it was set in Philadelphia. And at the time, there just weren't movies made in Philadelphia.
Nope.
And I spent a lot of time back in the Philadelphia area. I lived in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is an hour west of Philly. And I spent a lot of time in Philly in the 70s. And what I liked that he did about that city was he created a dark, mysterious feel for the city. Now think about how old it is. You know, I mean, that's where they signed the Constitution.
Right.
You know,
And the Declaration.
and the Declaration. You know,
It
so
was the capital for a while.
yeah, it was, and so the way it's a very loving picture, the visuals of Philadelphia, with these lush green spaces, and then leaves blowing, and there's the sound of the leaves blowing down the street. Very mysterious, as you are into the movie. Very sinister because of the nature of what the story is about. But it's a visually stunningly gorgeous movie.
And wonderfully acted.
Oh man,
And
I mean
wonderfully
everybody's good.
written.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
M. Night, by the way, M. Night
He wrote
writes,
it, right?
writes and directs almost everything that,
Right.
he does.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Busy man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he popped right back the next year. That was in 1999. 2000, he comes smashing back with Unbreakable.
Yes.
Also
Yes.
with Bruce Willis.
Right.
And this is one of the things, and we'll talk about that as we go through, but he likes to, if he has actors that he works with, he'll put them in again and again,
Right.
and he does that. Unbreakable, very, very odd, very, very odd movie about a guy that heals quickly. I mean, he's unbreakable, you know.
Right.
So, and that's the Bruce Willis character, and this kicks off a 20-year span where he makes 3 movies in the Unbreakable lineage,
Right.
and they're all intertwined, they're all hooked together. But he spread the production of these 3 movies was spread out over 20 years.
So Samuel Jackson is in
Yes.
that as well.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And Robin Wright again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Robin Wright is in this movie,
Yeah.
not in
Yeah.
The Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's in
you're right.
Unbreakable, right?
Right,
She's
this is Unbreakable.
Robin Wright is in the Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Right.
And a very, very, very not as successful as The Sixth Sense, but but still very financially successful. And that surprised me too, how many of his movies, even the ones that I didn't care for, were successful. So he makes Unbreakable, kicks off the trilogy, comes back 2 years later with Signs, with Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
My favorite actress of all time, Abigail Breslin,
Oh, she's great.
and
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yep.
Abigail Breslin, the first time I ever saw her was she played a little girl in Miss Sunshine. Something.
Oh, Little Miss Sunshine.
Little Miss Sunshine,
Yeah.
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 And she played a little girl because at that time she was a little girl.
Right.
And it's a very sharp-edged look at the pageant industry. This little girl is involved in a beauty pageant for 7-year-olds, which a lot of people, including myself, are a little hesitant to embrace.
Hesitant. It's like, Gross.
Yeah,
Really?
but it's but a terrific movie, and she's still only in her 20s, I
Yeah.
guess. She's still very young,
Yeah.
and even at her early time in her career, she's been in not one but three now, Hollywood level zombie flicks.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yep. Zombieland
Oh,
2,
Zombieland. Yeah. Right.
and also what's the one with Schwarzenegger? Oh shoot, can't remember that one. But boy, that is a heartbreaker. You know how in zombie movies when somebody gets bitten by a zombie, well, like in World War Z, it was 8 seconds, I think, before you turn.
Before you turn, yes.
Yeah. But in this one with Breslin and Schwarzenegger, it takes 10 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So Schwarzenegger's
What a crazy process for 10 months. I can just imagine what the movie.
and it's irreversible. You can't do anything about it. It's a it's a death sentence. But Schwarzenegger is the dad, and Breslin is his daughter, and she gets bit, and it's about the father and the daughter going through this experience together. It is just, I mean, it's amazing.
At their home, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, I
yeah.
have seen this.
It's amazing that Schwarzenegger is in such an intensely emotional movie, because that's not what he's up to, really.
No, usually the
and-
tough guy.
Yeah. And
What's the name of this again?
I can't remember. It's a girl's name,
Oh.
Grace or Martha or
I
something.
don't. I've never seen that, but we need to see that too. We need
Sure,
to. Yeah.
put that on your list.
Yeah.
It does start with an
But you-
M, I believe. And now it's going to bug me until I figure out what
Yeah,
that
me
movie
too.
is.
Yeah.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
really
so
enjoyed it.
Abigail Breslin
Right.
is in Signs, and I like
Right.
Signs a lot.
I did too.
And Craig hated it, so I have to kind of be here, channel Craig. Said, "Nah, that was terrible. I didn't like that at all." But I liked it, and the people liked it too. A little over $400 million at the box office.
Wow,
Yeah.
they did like it.
Yep.
Yep.
And the next one, another one that one that I didn't like at all, The Village. Again with Joaquin Phoenix.
I liked it.
I didn't care for it one bit, but
Yeah.
the exquisite Dallas Bryce Howard is in that. That's
Oh.
Opie's daughter.
Opie's daughter, right?
Oh, you're not old enough to know who Opie is, are you?
Ah, she.
No, I was going to say Sons of Anarchy, Opie, but no, that's
No.
not it. Nope, I don't know.
Ron Howard.
Ron
Ron
Howard.
Howard was Opie in whatever.
Mayberry.
Mayberry. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a child star.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Howard was a child star. He played Opie, the sheriff's kid, and in a long-running, very, very popular TV series. And then he became super duper director. And
Oh.
Dallas Bryce Howard is
Right.
is his daughter.
Right.
You might have seen her in some of the recent dinosaur movies. So she played the girlfriend in the dinosaur movies.
So what was the Abigail Breslin?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you got her
I got her
filmography.
filmography up. Yeah.
It's a one-word thing. It's a girl's name.
Oh, okay. So, well, I'll have to keep looking. So show more, right?
I keep wanting to say Maddie, and I know it's not
There it
Maddie.
is. Maggie.
Oh,
Maggie, that's what it is.
You know
Not
what?
Maddie, it's
Yeah.
Maggie, yes,
I need
okay.
to see that.
That was a great movie,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, but heartbreaking.
It
Oh my
really
goodness,
was, just to
yeah.
watch how intense it was and the other families that are going through it, and
Yeah.
an insane movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the village, the reveal I thought was less than stellar.
Yeah, but I liked it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, and here's one again with a wonderful cast. He has M. Night has a way of getting really good quality actors into his films.
Right.
This was called Lady in the Water.
Yes.
Not embraced by the public, but again with Bryce Dallas Howard
Yes.
and the one of the great actors living, working today, Paul Giamatti. But I haven't seen it, did
Oh,
you?
Paul Giamatti, yeah, I have seen it. It's been a while, but yeah.
Did you approve?
I did.
Okay.
I liked it.
You're the one.
Yeah, I'm the one person who saw it, right?
The one person that approved of it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Well-
not a profitable movie, but
It was a weird, I mean, yeah.
but weird.
Yeah.
We've got M. Night, so you know it's going to be weird.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, his,
It's not as popular.
Paul
as the-
Giamatti is great. Bob Balaban is in that. Yeah, and Sarita Chowdhury, who I like very much. And Mary Beth Hurt is in that. Yeah.
Okay, then we come up to The Happening, another one that I just thought was just flat as a
I
pancake.
didn't see that.
But people liked it. They made a, you know, the wonderful thing about making movies is if you make one that is at all successful, you make so much money. It's just stupid. They made, I don't know, profit for the producers, maybe $70 million for this movie.
For Happening?
Yeah, and you make,
Why?
it takes 3 months maybe to make a movie, and then you get $70 million if it's if it's just halfway good.
Right.
Good cast though. Mark Wahlberg,
Yeah.
Zooey Deschanel, one of
Yes,
my faves,
I like her.
and John, I can't pronounce his name, Leguizamo.
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 Oh man, he is awesome. I love him.
He's
And
done some really fun stuff.
He shows up in a variety of things. You
Yeah.
know, really good.
Yeah, he played
Yeah.
the
Leguizamo.
Leguizamo.
Yeah.
He
Right.
played the car part guy in John Wick.
Yes.
And he also played in a movie called Oz, where he played the
Wasn't
wizard.
he also with Patrick Swayze and the Priscilla, Queen of the Desert?
Don't know.
I think he was.
Never saw that.
Yes.
But he might have been.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff. And now we come up to a complete change of pace. 10 years ago, 11 years ago now, The Last Airbender.
Yes.
This is a kid's movie,
Yeah.
very expensive, $150 million budget. And it's a movie that got 5% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. That's the worst Rotten Tomato rating I've ever heard of.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Who's in that?
I don't know anybody.
Did you
Yeah.
enjoy it? Did you?
I think I liked it, but it's been a while
Yeah.
since I've seen it.
But nevertheless, because it's Hollywood.
Wait, there's more.
Yeah, they brought in 320 million, which by my estimation, how to figure out how profitable a movie is really completely guesswork, because there's so many fiddles that they have. One of the things that they do, I don't ever notice in a movie, almost every single movie you see where they have a computer, there's a very clear logo of
Right.
Apple.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, Apple pays for that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, to be in the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. I can't remember the name of it. There was a great movie, not a great movie, but an exciting movie set in Sofia, Bulgaria, where there's a great car chase. I mean, one of the great car chases of all time. But they used 7 different identical, super hot rodded up Fords. Well,
Yeah. Ford.
they could have used Chevys,
Right.
but Ford.
But we're paid.
Yeah, so that's a fiddle. And then
Yeah.
Tina was mentioning about the French Film Board and the Ontario Provincial
Oh
Film
yeah,
Board.
yeah. Which is actually real active. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The one in Australia is also real
Very.
active.
Yeah.
And the one in Georgia is very active as well.
Yeah.
And they all provide some kind of financial support for movies. So it's really difficult to figure out how much it costs to make them once you get all of that accounting stuff
Right.
in there.
Yeah.
But my rule of thumb, even as bad as the 5% fresh airbender was, they still made $20 million on it. Okay, $20 million, I don't know about you, but to me, that's a bunch of money.
It's
And this is profit, this is after,
Profit.
this is
Like
after
net profit.
And
Yeah.
absolutely.
after they paid all the salaries for the actors and all of that business. Plus, there's more. Another $48 million in DVD sales.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
So,
That's good.
yeah,
Sure.
so,
Yep.
And now we come to After Earth. Did you know he produced or
Doesn't
directed
look like
this?
a fan of
I
it.
don't even know about it.
It's Will Smith.
Oh, that's right. That's
And
right.
Will Smith's
Yeah, yeah.
15-year-old kid,
Yes.
Jaden.
Yeah.
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 Uh,
Right. Oh.
After Earth had Will Smith's kid, and Will Smith's wife in it, and was
Yeah.
Not-
Jada Pinkett.
Yeah.
Yes.
was not well received
Mm.
by the community of movie critics. Nor was it particularly embraced by the public. It was a money loser. One of the few actual money losers that M. Night was involved in. So he came right back, 2015, with a movie called The Visit, which I'd never even heard of.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
I can't remember. I just remember I saw it and I liked it. Yeah.
Don't know anything about
And
it.
who was in that?
Don't have any idea.
Oh, well, Google will help me.
But okay, so this does make a certain amount of sense to me. He had a budget of 130 million for After Earth. Okay, it did not make money.
Ooh.
So now those producer dudes are sitting around smoking their cigars and drinking martinis with their 18-year-old starlets. And they go, well, what are we going to do now? Look what M. Night's done. He lost a ton of money in that last movie.
Mhm.
Well, we're not going to give him any more money. Okay. Well, that makes sense to me. Let's not give him any more money. So he makes The Visit for $5 million, which is like what they spend for catering
Right.
in some of these movies.
Yeah. That was more than that.
And brought in 99 million.
Yeah.
So that shows you what you can do if
And
you've
I'm
got
looking at
talent.
the cast and I don't even know.
No, all unknown. Oh,
Olivia
this is,
DeJong, Ed
these are
Oxenbould.
all kids, right?
Yeah.
All young people.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. So I don't know any of these people.
Not exactly a dead teenager movie, but
No.
the cast was all young, inexpensive actors.
Yeah.
But nice return on
I
money.
remember that I liked
And he
it.
produced this one too.
Yeah. So he got the money.
Well, he raised it himself.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, then we come back. Oh, The Split, followed by Glass, followed by Old.
Yeah. Which we're gonna see today.
Yes.
Old we're going to see today. And remember, just to circle back, remember Unbreakable?
Yes.
Okay, now we come up to Split. James McAvoy.
Yes. He's great.
Anna Taylor-Joy. Anna Taylor-Joy plays a teenage kidnap victim, does very well. And then he comes right back with Glass, again with James McAvoy, this time also bringing back Bruce Willis and Sammy Jackson, as
Right.
well as Anna Taylor-Joy.
Right.
And that's the trilogy, the Unbreakable trilogy. And these are some of the most disturbing and engaging movies that you want to see.
Yeah.
James McAvoy is just brilliant as a complete psycho.
He's
got-
always brilliant though.
he's got-
Yeah.
I don't know how many different personalities he
Yeah.
has, and he's always popping up with, you
Right.
never know who you're dealing with.
Right.
He's got 13 different personalities or something, and one of his personalities is a psychotic murderer, and he kidnaps a bunch of
Right.
teenage girls. It's just
And what's
awful,
interesting about
awful,
him
awful
in this
stuff.
movie is as he adopts those different personalities, he physically changes. He really looks different in
Yeah.
each one. He's a wonderful actor.
Yep. And that brings us up to Old, which
Yes.
we will see in a little while.
And we're just not old. We're just going to go watch Old.
Maybe we could go see one called Young. and have them,
Wow.
Well,
just iron out those
let's
wrinkles.
drive out to the town.
You guys, it's been a great time with you this morning. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for standing in.
I think you should do this every week.
Yeah, we like
Well,
this.
maybe.
Yeah.
Randy, I don't want to take your job, but I had
No, it's
fun
okay.
this morning.
Hey, we like her. We need to like alternate maybe or something. It's very fun.
Again, the two new movies, Old and Snake Eyes today.
Yeah.
Don't miss out, you guys.
Go to the movies, guys.
And every Friday, the Hometown Movie Guys.
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch.
Hey, girl.
Yes, thank you.
You've done good.